Yo, what is going on, you guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, I'm going to be making a video about the brand new game that has just been announced, Spider-Man Miles Morales. And in today's video, I'm going to be making a prediction about a side character that could potentially appear as a supporting cast member in the game. And that one individual is Gwen Stacy. I made a video already about what happened to Gwen Stacy in the Spider-Man PS4 universe, and if you want, you can go and check that out, and I'll leave a link in the description down below next to the related video tab. I go into detail about whether she's still alive or not, or even if she's even appeared in the universe or in Peter's life before. After coming to the conclusion of no, I said it was very likely that through Peter or Miles that she could be introduced in the sequel to Marvel's Spider-Man in some capacity, either as a Yuri want-to-be type character or maybe a brand new love interest to either or characters. But now that we have more details and a fully fledged out teaser for the new Miles game, I have a few more predictions about where and how Gwen Stacy could potentially be introduced into this universe. First off, I do not think that Gwen Stacy will be introduced in the sequel to Spider-Man PS4 any longer. I firmly believe that I think she will almost certainly be introduced in the Miles Morales game, and here is why. On the Peter Parker side of things, he already has both a Yuri want-to-be type character and a love interest. In the first game, Yuri want-to-be helps Peter Parker out on missions and is kinda like Peter's insider to the police. I said that Gwen Stacy could take this sort of role, but maybe take a more science type route. However, I don't see a need for this character in any form if we already have Yuri, and her acting as a love interest, I don't think that is likely to happen, since it would be very counterproductive, since at the end of the last game, Mary Jane and Peter Parker got back together, unless they just wanted to screw with the audience and create an unnecessary love triangle. Now, this is where Miles' part of the theory comes in. If Gwen Stacy is truly not dead in this universe, and Peter is already 8 years into his Spidey career and everything is set up for him, this could be a good time to introduce Gwen into this universe, but through none other than Miles Morales. How would she be introduced, you ask? Well, she could be introduced as a number of different things. I think the first option and the most obvious one would be a love interest to Miles. While I think that if she were to show up, this would very likely be the case, I don't think that's all she would show up to do, as she'd just be a character purely there for a love interest for Miles. She could also maybe even show up as Spider-Gwen, or like I said before, show up as a Yuri want-to-be type character who could almost act as a team with Miles as she helps him out on missions with science stuff where Peter isn't around. Or she could be all three in one, or maybe a couple of them. But then the next question you have to ask is, well, Lewis, isn't Gwen Stacy a Peter Parker character? Yes, she is. However, in recent iterations of Spider-Man, Gwen has been very involved with Miles, just like in the Into the Spider-Verse movie, which starred Miles Morales as the Webhead and co-starred Gwen Stacy as Spider-Woman. It's also fair to mention the fact that in that movie, Miles and Gwen also had a flirty on-off relationship with one another, and in the sequel, it's possible that if we do see the return of Gwen Stacy as Spider-Woman, her and Miles might end up in some kind of relationship. Not to mention though that Miles and Gwen have had an actual relationship in the comics, and are not shy from crossing over with one another in the comic books. I feel the same will go for the PS4 game. It seems that with the PS4 universe being a very modern take on the Spider-Man mythos, it's fair to assume that Gwen Stacy could be taken in the same route she was in Spider-Verse, and not something where she's involved with Peter Parker. Then the next question is that most people will be asking, will she die if she does show up? Now first, before I get into this point and my views on this, Gwen Stacy's purpose is never to die, even though she might through a lot of Spider-Man media. Considering we're going to be encountering the Green Goblin and the likes of Venom in the direct sequel to the first game, it's not out of the chance that Miles could also show up in that game to help take down the Green Goblin, and along with Miles, probably his supporting cast. Therefore, if Gwen Stacy does show up as a supporting member, and this theory is true, it's also likely that she could show up in the next game down the line as well. And then we know who kills Gwen Stacy in the comics. That's right, the Green Goblin. So maybe. However, if she is to be introduced into the spin-off Miles game, as I did say, I think in my opinion it would be very unlikely, as she would be a Miles side character, and it wouldn't make much sense for her to cross over to the main story just to straight up die, even though she could show up in a couple of scenes. But with that being said, those are my theories to how Gwen Stacy could potentially show up in the Spider-Man PS4 universe through Miles Morales and the new game. If you did enjoy, make sure to hit that like button and make sure to hit that subscribe button to not miss any more content, theories, news, fan fictions about all sorts of Spider-Man stuff. That is if you do enjoy my content, and also make sure to hit the bell next to the subscribe button to not miss any more content from me, and you can see the videos as soon as they get uploaded, and you can be the first ones to watch them. And with that being said, once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.